We're just hours away from the fourth Democratic debate tonight in Westerville, Ohio. It'll be Bernie Sanders' first campaign event since he suffered a heart attack almost 2 weeks ago. Our Caitin Huey-Burns spoke with former Ohio State Senator and co-chair of the Sanders campaign, Nina Turner, about how the Vermont senator is feeling before taking the stage.
Senator is feeling just fine. Ready, roaring to go as always. Even in talking with him, even from when he was in the hospital, he was still thinking about other people in this country who don't have the same access to health care that he does, and saying, not just to himself, but out loud, I got to do more to really push and promote Medicare for all. So even in his time of need, he's still thinking about the mission, per usual.
And are we going to hear that tonight, him kind of draw on this experience of suffering a heart attack and using it to talk about health care?
You will hear that. I know it's hard to think that Senator Bernie Sanders could go harder on health care, but he is, because it was such a piercing experience for him. And it just really came full circle about the millions of people in this country who are either uninsured or underinsured, who hesitate to go to the hospital because they don't have health care, and they could have had a different outcome. And we met people like that all on the campaign trail, or people who only take part of their medicine because they cannot afford it. So yes, this is his passion issue, health care in this country, universal health care in this country.
And are we going to see the campaign release the senator's medical records anytime soon? Is that something the campaign wants to do?
I mean, the senator is very transparent about his health. I want people to know this, that if he could not go on, he would not do this. He is doing this because of his passion, his commitment, his courage to this country and to this mission, to his vision, and because he can. The doctors have said that he is fine and he can do this, and he's going to continue to do this.
But can we expect the campaign to release his actual medical records before voters start weighing in?
I'm not sure about that. Maybe.
And we've seen the senator slip a bit in some of these polls. How does the campaign think about that? Any kind of strategy shift to try to regain some momentum?
I mean, Caitlin, polls are up, polls are down. The real poll is what the voters have to say on Election Day. So we're going to continue to fight for our space, whether it's New Hampshire, Iowa. As we know, polls came up and had the big three, as I call them, in a statistical dead heat in Iowa. The same in New Hampshire. Some polls may show him slightly below, other candidates slightly below, but we're going to continue the senator's message.
And can we look for him to focus on any other candidates tonight? I know in past debates he's gone after Joe Biden. Could we see him maybe go after someone like Elizabeth Warren, who's been on the rise?
I wouldn't say go after. Senator Bernie, going after and Senator Sanders, that doesn't go in the same sentence. He doesn't go after people. As you know, he runs a campaign on the issues and ideas. And yes, if the question is, are there contrasts? Absolutely there are. Are there differences? Absolutely they are. And where necessary, the senator will raise that issue and let it be known where he stands compared to his good friends on the stage who are also competing to be president of the United States of America. I want the viewers to know that all of these candidates are competing. Only one of them can win the primary and go head-to-head with President Donald Trump. So this is not about how friendly they are to one another. This is about who has the principled stand, who has the courage, the conviction, and the character to really take this country to the next level for the working people of this nation of all backgrounds, and that is Senator Bernie Sanders.
You are from Ohio. We're here in Ohio. The senator has talked a lot about how he is best equipped to win Midwestern states. How can we see him kind of tailor his message here in Ohio?
I mean, he's traveled. He's been in this state. Yes, this is my home. No place like home. Glad to be here in Ohio. But, the Midwest, it is really about, rural areas, the urban, suburban. The senator has one of the most comprehensive rural plans of any presidential candidate. He understands, especially farming. People don't necessarily think of Ohio and farms, but we have a lot of farms here and a lot of family farms, and the impact that these corporate farms, these agri-farms have on the rural communities. In our urban areas, it is about employment all over the country, but particularly in Ohio, we know some of the trade deals have really hurt people in this state, especially in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, places like Youngstown. The senator understands that. He has voted against every trade deal in this country that has caused pain to the middle class. So his message message is consistent, and that is the beautiful thing about him. He doesn't have to contort himself. He has been on the right side of history when it comes to workers in this country. And for us in Ohio, we have the opioid epidemic as well. And so that's why a Medicare for all and universal health care, so people can get the counseling and the health care that they need to be able to deal with those kinds of epidemics. So with the senator, the gospel, all of these candidates are preaching from the gospel according to Bernard Sanders. And so he doesn't have to change his tone, whether he's in the Midwest or whether he's in the South. It is all the same. It is about the uplift of the workaday people of this nation who have been left behind by a rigged system, and he is the one to unrig it.
And finally, when can we see him back out on the campaign trail?
Well, you know, we're going to New York on Saturday, so he will be out in New York live and in living color, and people will see the Bernie Sanders that they've come to know and love.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.